There comes a point in life when you look back and realize you weren't really living. You were just surviving, chasing illusions, pleasing everyone, and slowly losing yourself. I've made mistakes that shattered me, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. Mistakes that robbed me of peace, self-respect, and years of my life I'll never get back. And if you're watching this, I don't want you to make the same ones. Because pain is a brutal teacher, but wisdom doesn't have to come from suffering. As the Stoics said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. So let my scars be your shield. In this video, I'll share 8 things that destroyed my life, and how you can avoid falling into the same traps. Listen carefully. Every point is a piece of my past that almost broke me. Before we start, if this message hits your soul even a little, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's awaken together. Now let's begin. 1. Chasing people instead of purpose. There was a time in my life when I believed that love meant never letting go. That if someone drifted away, it was my fault. That maybe I didn't love them enough. Maybe I wasn't enough. So I chased. I chased people who were already walking away, who spoke to me with silence, who made me feel like I had to earn the right to exist in their world. I mistook attachment for connection, obsession for care, and the pain of losing them for the proof that what we had was real. But the truth is, it wasn't love, it was fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of being forgotten. Fear of not being chosen. I kept trying to fix what was breaking me. I kept waiting for people to see my worth, when deep down, I wasn't seeing it myself. I thought if I just held on tighter, they'd stay. But all I did was lose more of myself in the process. Every unanswered text, every ignored effort, every time I begged for validation. It was like carving little pieces off my own soul and handing them away. That's what chasing people does. It teaches you how to live half alive. The Stoics said, "You cannot lose what was never truly yours." And when I finally understood this, something inside me cracked open. I realized that people are not possessions, they're experiences. Some come to teach you love, others to teach you pain. But none are meant to complete you. Because the moment you believe someone else holds the key to your peace, you hand them the power to destroy you. When you chase people, you lose your direction. You start walking away from your purpose just to follow someone else's shadow. But when you chase purpose, something magical happens. The right people start walking beside you. Not because you beg them to stay, but because your energy inspires them to. The day I stopped running after people was the day I found myself. I stopped texting first just to feel seen. I stopped lowering my standards to keep temporary company. I stopped confusing attention for affection. I started focusing on my goals, my growth, my peace. And slowly, the universe started replacing what I lost with what I actually deserved. If you're chasing someone right now, stop. You're not losing them. You're finding yourself. Let them go. Because if your presence isn't enough to make them stay, your absence will teach them what they lost. The people meant for you won't need convincing. They'll recognize your value without you performing for it. So, stop running after those who walk away from your peace. The only chase worth your energy is the one toward your purpose. Because once you start walking that path, you'll realize the right people never needed to be chased. They were waiting for you to stop running from yourself. 2. Living for approval. For years, I was addicted to validation. I lived my life like a performance. Every smile rehearsed, every move carefully designed to earn someone's approval. I posted pictures not because I wanted to share my life, but because I needed someone to tell me it was worth living. Every like, every compliment, every word of praise felt like oxygen. And without it, I couldn't breathe. I became a prisoner to perception, trapped in the eyes of others, living for applause that always faded the next day. I thought that if everyone liked me, I'd finally like myself. But the truth is, the more I tried to impress others, the more disconnected I became from who I really was. I became a stranger to my own reflection. I laughed louder when I wasn't happy, pretended to be fine when I was breaking inside, and said yes when every part of me screamed no. It's terrifying how easy it is to lose yourself trying to fit into an image that isn't even yours. I remember scrolling through social media, comparing my behind-the-scenes pain to everyone else's highlight reel. Everyone looked happy, successful, perfect. So, I copied the illusion. I smiled for the camera even when I felt nothing. I wore confidence like armor, hoping no one would see the cracks underneath. But at night, when the screens went dark, I felt hollow. The approval that once made me feel alive now felt like poison, because it came at the cost of my authenticity. Epictetus once said, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." That line hit me like a storm, because I realized I was more afraid of judgment than failure. I cared more about being liked than being true. And that's the exact moment I gave up my freedom. The need for approval is invisible slavery. You spend your life adjusting, pleasing, performing, only to realize no matter what you do, someone will still criticize you. So, I stopped trying to impress. I stopped posting for attention. I stopped explaining myself to people committed to misunderstanding me. And for the first time, I felt peace, not because the world accepted me, but because I finally accepted myself. That silence, that stillness, that moment when you stop needing to be seen to feel worthy, that's freedom. Here's the truth. The ones who laugh at your authenticity today will one day wish they had your peace. Because when you no longer depend on approval, you become untouchable. You stop living like a puppet pulled by strings of opinion and start walking like someone who knows their worth. If you're living for likes, stop. If you're seeking validation, pause. Because the world's applause is temporary, but self-respect is permanent. Don't spend your life trying to be liked by people who don't even like themselves. The moment you stop performing is the moment your real life begins. 3. Ignoring my intuition. There's a quiet voice inside every one of us. A whisper that tells us when something feels off, when someone isn't right, when a path isn't ours to take. I used to hear that voice all the time, but I never trusted it. I drowned it out with logic, with excuses, with fear. I told myself, maybe I'm overthinking, maybe I'm just being too sensitive. But deep down I knew. I always knew. My intuition wasn't wrong. I just didn't have the courage to listen. Every time I ignored that inner warning, I paid the price. I stayed in friendships that drained me because I didn't want to be the bad guy. I trusted people whose energy felt wrong because I wanted to believe their words instead of their actions. I said yes to things my soul was screaming no to, and every time I did, I betrayed myself a little more. It's strange how pain teaches you to respect your instincts. Because after enough heartbreak, enough disappointments, you start realizing that your gut was never your enemy. It was your guide. The Stoics taught that wisdom is found in aligning with nature, and your intuition is nature speaking through you. It's not mystical or magical. It's the sum of every experience, every feeling, every lesson your soul has ever known. It's your inner compass pointing toward peace, while your mind chases comfort or validation. And every time I chose logic over that quiet truth, life reminded me, logic can lie, but your gut never does. I remember once ignoring a feeling that told me to walk away from someone. Everything about them seemed perfect on the surface, charming, kind, trustworthy. But something deep inside felt uneasy. I brushed it off as paranoia. Months later, that same person shattered my trust in ways I never imagined. Looking back, I don't blame them. I blame myself for not listening when my soul was warning me. That day, I learned something powerful. Intuition speaks softly, but consequences don't. We live in a world that glorifies reason, strategy, and overthinking. But the Stoics believe that nature never lies. And what could be more natural than the instincts we're born with? Intuition isn't an emotion. It's awareness without analysis. It's your spirit recognizing danger before your mind has the words for it. When something feels wrong, it usually is. And when something feels peaceful, even if it's uncertain, that's your truth calling you home. Now, I listen. I've learned that ignoring your intuition is like ignoring the alarm before the fire starts. It doesn't save you, it only delays the pain. So, when something inside you whispers, "This isn't right," don't silence it. Don't wait for proof. Don't look for permission. Your intuition doesn't shout. It protects you in silence. And once you start trusting it, you'll realize it never once failed you. It was you who failed to believe. Because in the end, the most dangerous thing you can do is betray that inner knowing, the voice of your highest self trying to guide you home. 4. Comparing my journey to others. Comparison is one of the quietest forms of self-destruction. It sneaks in when you least expect it, When you're scrolling through social media, when you see someone doing better than you, when someone your age already has what you're still fighting for. I used to tell myself I was just being motivated by others' success, but the truth was, I was slowly killing my own peace. Every time I looked at someone else's achievements, I stopped appreciating my own progress. Every time I saw someone win, I felt like I was losing, even when I wasn't. I remember countless nights staring at my screen, seeing people travel, succeed, fall in love, live their dream lives. And there I was, stuck in the same room, same routine, wondering what was wrong with me. I began to measure my worth by what I didn't have. I began to believe that maybe I was behind, maybe I was a failure. And that's the tragedy of comparison. It blinds you to the beauty of your own journey. It convinces you that life is a race when it's really a marathon, and everyone's starting line is different. Seneca said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Those words hit me like a truth I had been running from. Maybe my delays weren't punishments. Maybe they were preparation. Maybe my struggles weren't signs that I was losing. Maybe they were shaping me into someone stronger. The Stoics believe that our paths unfold exactly as they should, but we ruin that peace when we try to walk someone else's. The more I compared myself to others, the less I could hear my own calling. I started chasing what looked good instead of what felt right. I said yes to things I didn't want, just to appear successful. I tried to speed up my journey, not realizing that flowers don't bloom faster by staring at the ones that already have. Some seasons in life are meant for growth that no one can see. You might be in your season of silence right now, but silence doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means the foundation is being built beneath the surface. The truth is, you're not late. You're not behind. You're not forgotten. You're exactly where you need to be for what's coming next. Life doesn't reward those who rush. It rewards those who stay patient through the unseen work. Stop measuring your progress with someone else's ruler. Their path was never meant to be yours. Now, when I see others succeed, I celebrate them, but I no longer compare. Because I've learned that what's meant for me will never miss me, and what misses me was never meant to stay. My journey doesn't need to look like anyone else's to be meaningful. The moment I stopped comparing, peace returned. And that peace was worth more than any illusion of perfection I once chased. So, if you're looking at others and wondering, why not me? Remember this. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. Growth doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens in the shadows, in the waiting, in the moments no one applauds you. Keep going quietly, because when it's your time, you won't have to compete. You'll simply arrive. 5. Staying in environments that killed my spirit. There was a time when I thought loyalty meant endurance, that staying in the wrong place, around the wrong people, was a sign of strength. I told myself, good people don't walk away. I convinced myself that patience would eventually be rewarded. But what I didn't realize then was that I wasn't being loyal. I was betraying myself. I stayed where I was unappreciated, unseen, and unloved because I was afraid of starting over. I stayed in jobs that drained my soul, in friendships that mocked my growth, and in environments that celebrated my silence more than my voice. I thought that leaving would make me ungrateful. I was wrong. Staying was what broke me. Every day in those spaces felt like dying slowly, a piece of my confidence, my creativity, my self-worth slipping away. I stopped speaking my truth because it made others uncomfortable. I started pretending to be smaller so they could feel bigger. I became what they wanted me to be, quiet, feel my spirit screaming. That's the thing about toxic environments. They don't destroy you all at once. They do it inch by inch, day by day, until one morning you wake up and don't recognize who you've become. The Stoics believe that virtue is living in harmony with truth. And truth never asks you to shrink. It doesn't demand silence, nor does it ask you to suppress the fire inside you. Yet, for years, I chose comfort over courage. I told myself I was being strong for enduring it, but there's no strength in suffocation. The real strength lies in walking away when something no longer aligns with your soul. I remember sitting at my desk one day, surrounded by people who laughed at dreams they were too afraid to chase. Their comfort became my cage. I realized I was surviving, not living. And the longer I stayed, the more I forgot what peace even felt like. That day, I understood that peace isn't found by staying where you're tolerated. It's found by going where you're valued. Sometimes you have to burn bridges, not out of anger, but to stop yourself from crossing back into places that broke you. It's not easy to leave. The mind will whisper 1,000 fears. What if I fail? What if I regret it? What if I end up alone? But here's what I learned. Staying somewhere that kills your spirit is the slowest kind of death. You'll never regret leaving something that was suffocating your soul. You'll only regret not leaving sooner. So, if you're in a place where your light feels dimmer, where your ideas are mocked, where your peace feels like a luxury, listen to me. You don't owe your presence to any place or person that doesn't honor your growth. Leaving isn't weakness, it's self-respect. The truth is, you were never meant to fit in small spaces. You were meant to expand, to evolve, to rise. And sometimes, the only way to do that is to walk away from everything that demands you to stay small. Because your soul wasn't made for cages, it was made for freedom. 6. Hiding my pain behind strength. For the longest time, I believed that strength meant silence, that if I showed pain, I was weak. I wore a mask of composure while my heart was bleeding underneath. I laughed when I wanted to cry, said, "I'm fine," when I was falling apart, and carried the weight of everything alone because I thought that's what strong people do. I became so good at pretending that even I started to believe the lie that I was okay. But inside, I was crumbling. My emotions didn't disappear. They just hid deeper, waiting for the day they'd finally explode. I buried pain under productivity, under fake smiles, under the illusion of control. But pain has a way of leaking through the cracks. It shows up in the way you distance yourself, the way you snap at the smallest things, the way you stop trusting people even when they mean well. It's a slow poison, silent but lethal. I used to think I was surviving by being strong, but in reality, I was suffocating under the weight of unspoken hurt. We live in a world that glorifies toughness. Don't cry, move on, be strong. We hear it everywhere. But no one tells you that real strength isn't about suppressing your pain. It's about facing it. Marcus Aurelius once said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." And I finally understood. The pain I was avoiding wasn't an obstacle. It was my teacher. It was trying to show me what needed healing, what needed forgiveness, what needed letting go. The Stoics never denied pain. They learned to transform it. They believed that every hardship was a test of the soul, an opportunity to practice virtue, patience, and resilience. When I began to face my pain instead of hiding it, I realized it had something powerful to teach me. It taught me compassion, because when you've been broken, you learn how to handle others with gentleness. It taught me presence, because pain has a way of pulling you into the truth of the moment. And it taught me strength, the kind that comes from vulnerability, not from denial. For years, I saw my scars as shame. I thought they made me flawed. But now, I see them as proof that I survived, that I didn't give up even when I wanted to. Every scar tells a story of a battle fought in silence, of tears that no one saw, of nights where I chose endurance over escape. That is strength, not the absence of pain, but the courage to live through it. If you're holding everything inside, pretending to be okay while breaking quietly, stop. Let it out. Talk. Cry. Scream if you have to. Because ignoring pain doesn't make it disappear. It only buries it alive. And what you bury alive will always come back for you. But when you face it, when you allow yourself to feel, something miraculous happens. You begin to heal. The truth is, your pain is not your enemy. It's your awakening. It's life's way of breaking you open so that light can finally enter. So stop hiding behind strength. Real strength is standing in your truth, even when it shakes you. It's saying, "I'm hurting, but I'm still here." Because that is power. 7. Procrastinating my dreams. There was a time I kept whispering the same lie to myself. Someday I'll start. Someday I'll change. Someday I'll be ready. But someday is a ghost that never comes. It's the most dangerous word we tell ourselves because it sounds harmless, but it silently kills potential. I kept waiting for a perfect version of myself, the one who felt confident, stable, and fully prepared. But that version never arrived. And while I waited, days turned into months, and months turned into years. I didn't realize that every time I said someday, I was secretly saying not today. And not today became the anthem of a wasted life. I used to think procrastination was laziness, but it's not. It's fear disguised as comfort. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of not being good enough. So we tell ourselves we're just waiting for the right moment. But the truth is, there's no right moment. Only the moment you decide to move. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Those words should shake every soul awake. Because when you realize time isn't promised, hesitation becomes insanity. I remember nights where I felt the fire inside me, the urge to start, to build, to create. But then I'd scroll, distract, delay. I'd say, tomorrow I'll begin. But every tomorrow looked exactly like today. That's how dreams die. Quietly, not with a scream, but with endless excuses. One day, I looked back and saw all the things I could have been, and that's when the pain hit me, the pain of unlived potential. That's the kind of pain no one warns you about, the pain of knowing you had everything inside you, but fear won. The truth is, you'll never feel ready. You'll never have the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect mindset. You just have to begin, messy, scared, unprepared, but begin anyway. Because every day you delay, you're training your brain to live in regret. And regret is a prison built from the bricks of procrastination. The people who change their lives aren't the ones who wait for confidence. They're the ones who act despite fear. So if there's something burning in your soul right now, stop saying someday. Say today, because life is happening whether you move or not. The clock doesn't care about your fear. The world won't wait for your courage. And one day, if you keep delaying, you'll wake up realizing you weren't waiting for the right moment. You were wasting the only one you had. 8. Not forgiving myself. This one was the hardest. Because it's easy to forgive others when they hurt you. But forgiving yourself, that's a different kind of battle. I carried my guilt like a shadow that followed me everywhere. No matter how much I tried to move forward, the past kept pulling me back. Every mistake, every wrong word, every bad decision, it replayed in my mind like a movie on repeat. I became my own worst enemy, constantly punishing myself for things I could no longer change. It's like trying to heal while reopening the same wound every day. There were nights I'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, haunted by the thought, what if I had done things differently? And that question destroyed me. I kept believing I didn't deserve peace, that somehow, by holding on to guilt, I was paying for my sins. But the truth is, guilt doesn't heal anything. It just traps you in a version of yourself that no longer exists. You can't become who you're meant to be while punishing who you were. You can't move toward the light while chained to your own darkness. The Stoics taught that what's done is done, and the only thing we truly control is what we do next. Yet we torture ourselves for the past, as if pain can rewrite history. It can't. All it does is drain your spirit and steal your present. I realized that not forgiving myself was a form of arrogance, as if my mistakes were too great for redemption, as if I was above the forgiveness I freely gave to others. But healing begins the moment you look at your reflection and say, yes, I messed up, but I am not my mistakes. I am what I do after them. Forgiving yourself doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means transforming the pain into wisdom. It means allowing your scars to remind you, not define you. You forgive not because you deserve to be let off the hook, but because you deserve peace. You deserve to breathe again. You deserve to stop being haunted by the person you used to be. Because that version of you, the one who stumbled, fell, and broke, was just trying to survive with the knowledge they had at the time. You are not your past. You are the lesson it taught. And the moment you finally let go of that guilt, you'll feel something powerful, freedom. The kind of freedom that comes when you realize you no longer need to suffer to prove you've changed. Forgive yourself, not to erase your story, but to continue it. Because the person you're becoming deserves peace, and it's time you finally gave it to them. As we conclude, these 8 things destroyed my peace, my confidence, and nearly my life. But once I faced them, I began to rebuild. Don't wait until pain forces you to change. Choose growth before suffering makes you wise. Remember, every moment is a chance to begin again. As the Stoics said, the obstacle is the way. Your scars aren't signs of weakness. They're symbols of survival. If this message spoke to you, don't just scroll away. Like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who's silently fighting their battles. Because maybe this is the message they were waiting for.